Welcome to a forgotten time, a place where the wind carries stories, where fire warms more than the body, and where every axe, every rune, every whisper in the woods, tells of a life once lived. In this episode, you will journey into the everyday world of the Vikings. Not the tales of conquest and bloodshed that echo through legend, but the quiet truth of how they lived, how they loved, how they died, and how they remembered. Settle in, let the waves carry you north. This is Forgotten Marzies. The morning comes slowly to the north. Long before the sun breaks over the horizon, the world is wrapped in thick mist. Along a narrow fjord, quiet and still, lies a Viking village of perhaps 30 wooden homes. Smoke curls from thatched rooftops as the first hearths are lit. You hear no shouting, no urgency, only the soft, rhythmic sound of waves lapping against the shore and the distant call of seabirds returning from the open sea. In one of the homes, a woman kneels before the hearth. Her hands, rough from years of weaving and working, prepare a simple pot of barley porridge. She murmurs to herself, perhaps a prayer to Freya, or maybe just a song she remembers from her childhood. Nearby, a child stirs beneath woolen blankets, rubbing his eyes as the first warmth of the fire reaches his cheeks. Outside, a young man sharpens his axe. His breath clouds in the cold air, and the metallic ring of the blade against stone echoes softly. Not far from him, fishermen repair nets, their fingers numb but practiced. The village awakens, not with haste, but with purpose. This is the Viking world, quiet, patient, and resilient. As the sun finally begins to climb over the snow-tipped mountains, the village square fills with gentle activity. Women spin wool, men stack firewood, and children run between homes, chasing each other with sticks shaped like swords. Please remember to like and share, and if you'd like to help us make more videos like this, please consider supporting us. Life is not romantic here, but it is full. Every task, from brewing mead to drying fish, connects generations through memory and repetition. The scent of pine smoke lingers in the air. Somewhere, a skald, the village storyteller, begins to recite verses of Odin's wanderings, of Thor's great hammer, of giants and serpents, and of the tree that holds the 9 realms. The old gather close, nodding slowly, their eyes half closed, not in sleep but in remembrance. This is not the Viking world of war and plunder, not yet. This is home. This is where stories begin. The old men sit in the hall, drinking their fill and telling tales of old, of heroes and gods and monsters. The mead hall echoes with laughter and the clash of tank. But outside, the wind is cold and the North Sea bites at the wooden walls of the longhouse. Not all men of the North are warriors, but every man knows what it means to hold a sword. In a wooden longhouse on the edge of the village, a group of young men train in silence. They do not laugh. They do not boast. This is not a game. Under the flickering torchlight, they swing wooden staves, mimicking the movements of combat. We remember the silence before the strike, the decision to leave home, the last glance at one's child, the fear behind the eyes of even the bravest man. A warrior's preparation does not begin with blood. It begins with respect for the sea, which can drown you. When the time comes, the men will row as 130 oars, one heartbeat. The rhythm of the oars is the rhythm of fate itself, just the breath and the will of the crew. You have heard the stories of raids, churches burned, gold stolen, monks slaughtered, but here we do not glorify it. No commands, no drums. Respect for the blade, which cuts without mercy, and respect for death, which waits quietly behind every shield wall. For every raid there is a price, a life lost, a wound that festers, a spirit that never returns. The songs sung by skalds are not just of victory, but of longing of warriors who never saw the fjords again. And yet they go. Not for gold, not always. Sometimes they go because the gods are watching. Because Valhalla waits, their feet stamp in the dirt in time. It is almost a dance sold as the gods, passed down like song. The longships rest in the shallows, their carved prows rising like serpents from the water. They are sleek, deadly, and silent. Deep in the woods, hidden from the wind, stands a stone. Its surface is carved with rune symbols, ancient, winding, like branches, each one a whisper from the past. This is not writing as we know it. This is prayer. This is power. The Vikings believed that to carve a rune was to speak directly to the gods. They tell of Odin, who gave one of his eyes for wisdom, and of the Valkyries who ride the skies, searching for the souls of the worthy fallen. When a great warrior dies, he is given a funeral like no other. His body is laid upon a ship, surrounded by his weapons, his goods, sometimes even his favorite horse or a faithful slave. As the flames rise, so too, they believe, does his spirit carried, not by wind, but by fate, into the halls of Valhalla. Runestones marked lives. They told of brave men and lost brothers and loyal friends. Some warned of curses. Others begged the gods to watch over the dead. A few, only a few, spoke of love. At night, the woods seem alive with presence. The Norse did not see the world as dead. Rather, they saw spirits in the rock, the wind, the fire, and the beast. Every tree could hold a memory. Every dream, a prophecy. The stories tell of the world tree. It is not grief that fills the air on such nights but reverence. A soft hum of chanting, a silence more powerful than weeping. Fire dances on water, and the sky glows with it. In death, the Vikings found not an end but a beginning. Beneath the fur and the iron, the Viking world was not equal. At the top stood the Jarls, lords of land, of ships, and of warriors. But below, even them were the thralls. The slaves, a whispered accusation, a failed oath, a missed tax. Justice was not blind, it was owned. And sometimes a blade hidden in the shadows spoke louder than all the lawmen in the world. By a king's murder, a queen's vengeance, and a slave's rebellion, taken from raids, born in bondage, or sold into it by debt. They had no rights, no families of their own. And in the dark forests of the north, ambition burns hotter than fire. A man might be sold for a bad harvest. A woman might serve for life. And yet, they too lived in this world, felt its winds, heard its gods, and bore its burdens. And remember, the best stories are the ones you share with friends. So grab a tankard and pass it on. They owned longhouses the size of 10 homes, and their words could raise armies or destroy families. A Jarl sat, not alone, but surrounded by whispers, advisors, rivals, and spies. In the smoky dark of the feast hall, while mead flowed and songs were sung, deals were made and knives were drawn. Below the Jarls were the freemen, those who could own land, vote in the thing, and speak their voice. They farmed, traded, and fought. Of legendary battles, and of heroes long dead. Yet in the heart of every Viking, the saga of Ragnar Lothbrok lives on. A single word from a Jarl could change a life. Not all Jarls were cruel. Some ruled with care. But power corrupts, even in cold places. Now the sagas tell of a time when the greatest kingdom in all of Norway was broken. From the legendary King Harald Bluetooth comes a tale of valor and of war, of a people forging a nation and carving out a new faith. So grab your shield, friend, and join us as we bring you new tales each week from the best seat in the mead hall. The fire dies down in the longhouse. The voices fall to a hush. Outside, the stars shine above the fjord like silver specks scattered by the gods. I saw the northern lights dancing in the sky, heard the call of the Valkyries echoing in my ears. I could feel the spray of the ocean on my skin, and the wind whipping through my hair. It was as if I had always known this place, this feeling, and in that moment, I knew I had found my way home. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howls, or maybe it's the wind. The people of the north close their eyes, not in fear, but in peace. Another day begins its long end. The axe rests by the door. The ship sleeps in the cove. And the stories continue in the hearts of those still awake. In the Viking world, nothing is truly gone, only waiting to be remembered. I felt a pull towards the water. It was like a dream, a half-forgotten memory from a past life. The fire has burned low. The ships have drifted back to shore, and the voices of the past now fade into silence. But if this journey moved you, if you felt the snow, heard the sea, and walked for a while beside forgotten souls, then we invite you to stay with us. Please like this video, subscribe to Forgotten Marsh, and return soon for another slow journey into the past. We'd love to have you back for our next live. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Until then, sleep well, and remember, history never truly sleeps. We hope you enjoyed this special event where we read stories from the past to keep history alive. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button and consider supporting us through the link in the description.